Hey, what's up people? Here's Niall Sebastian Ziga. Welcome to this video. I'm here at the Rhine in Bonn, Germany, and I'm chilling at the Rhine and I have a guest. That guest actually is a guest you can't see directly because he do not have a biological body anymore. I'm talking about the creator Kurt Cobain, so the creator who have lived as Kurt Cobain, who have lived the life of the man known as Kurt Cobain, and known in the public because he was a band member of the band Nirvana. So actually I'm gonna try to communicate with him, and we already produced some documentations, so I'm quite optimistic that it will work out. And for your better understanding, Kurt Cobain can communicate with me by transferring information into my human brain as thoughts, but he can also communicate more transparent to you, the people which are watching the video, by canalizing the wind and by controlling the wind level, so how strong the wind is coming into the area over here. So I'm filming with a few cameras. Please watch out for the plants behind me. And Kurt Cobain, the creator, can send wind waves. For example, if he wants to agree to stuff I speak out, he can raise the wind level to a higher wind level to agree to stuff I speak out. Or if I ask him specific questions, like yes or no questions, he can raise the wind level to a higher wind level than there was before to say yes. That's for your better understanding. So right now the plants behind me became more quiet for the moment. Now Kurt Cobain gonna send another wind wave, so he gonna raise the wind level for you one time that you can understand the principle. And if you watch out for the plants, he will start to do that now. The plants I'm pointing with my finger at, and I'm gonna keep my hand up for a little while, and you can watch it on a huge television screen because then you can see it better. And I'm gonna make transparent what I feel and see. I feel more wind in the area here. I feel that I'm connected with the creature by body sharing. So if other creatures influence my human body, that's called body sharing. And I can see, feel and hear. I hear the leaves, they start to shake more because the wind level was raised, and I could see that the leaves were shaking more. So that is specific communication. And because Kurt Cobain do not have his biological human body anymore, he will use wind. And he's agreeing to that by sending another wind waves. So that's the principle of the communication, which is important to understand if you want to understand my videos. By the way, I'm here at the River Rhine, and in the background, on the other side of the Rhine, is a swimming pool area, a public one. So that's where the loudspeaker noise is coming from in between. And it's close to 7 o'clock. So at 7 o'clock, the public swimming pool area is closing. That's why they use the loudspeaker a lot in between to inform the people that they should leave. Okay, that's for your better understanding. It's coming from the other side of the river if you hear the loudspeaker. If you want to understand Kurt Cobain, so the creator who have lived as a man and who's known from the band Nirvana, or other creatures are maybe potentially going to communicate with very soon during the video, then please watch out for the wind level and for the reaction of the plants over here. That is important to understand, and with that you can understand these ghosts, or to be more specific, these creatures which have lived as human beings before, which have lost their own human body and which are also called ghosts by other people, but they are also creatures, so they have a biological core, but which is so small that we can't see it. And they're able to connect in symbiosis to the biosymbiosis, to the natural environment, and they're able to influence it depending on the situation. I'm saying it like that because potentially, for example, your ancestors, so your family members which already died, they can come into the situation that they have the same possibilities and opportunities, which do not mean that they are always able and capable to do that, to use weather control to communicate with living humans. So that's important to understand. By the way, for those of you which do not know me, because Kurt Cobain, I'm sure you know, you have heard of him at least. I'm Niall Sebastian Powersieger, and I do inform about ancestors communication and universal communication since a few years. And there's a website, I'm going to place the link close to the video. It's www.ciembassy.com, and you will find later this video and other videos on the website. They always take a few months, up to a few months, before I can place them on the website. But you'll find all videos on the website later and on the YouTube channels. The YouTube channels are a bit faster, but there are a lot of YouTube channels because I'm informing since 6-7 years, and I did produce a lot of YouTube channels in between. So there are also, oh yeah, by the way, there are also 2 other videos with the creator Kurt Cobain online. You can also check them out. The second one is also from this morning, so I'm filming at the same day 2 videos with him. That's how you can get that. From me, Niall, the woman was over here, so my woman was over here, so I'm relaxing now a little bit. I had a relaxed time with her, but now I'm gonna chill out a moment and I'm gonna drink a beer, because that was my plan for the day and I had to skip that because of the visit. So right now I'm gonna relax with a J and I'm gonna drink a beer in between. It's a beautiful day, and I hope that we have enough sun for maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, but I have a little battery problems with the cell phone, so I will be happy if I make it to upload later 2 30-minute videos. At the moment I'm here on the Rhine side, close to the city Bonn in Germany, and a lot of ghosts actually visiting me on a daily basis, and I'm doing camping, so I'm sleeping in a tent, which means I have battery issues and issues regarding the storage, because I'm only working with cell phones and I don't have the laptop here at the moment to make it possible for you to film this summer. So please be aware of that. If you do wonder, if you do follow my videos since a long time, and if you do wonder that not so much was uploaded in the last weeks and months, that was one of the reasons, and the other reason do have nothing to do with Kurt Cobain, but the other reason were a few attacks from ghosts towards me, so against me, if you want it like that. That's also important to understand. And by the way, if Kurt Cobain is doing wind now, so because he triggered the wind level a lot, that you can see that if you are focused on that as well during I speak. It's not because he was involved in that, but because he do have the knowledge, because he informed himself. So that we have that clear, because I don't have any problems so far with Kurt Cobain. So Kurt Cobain did said hello to his family members and to the band members in the other 2 videos. But if he's doing a lot of wind right now, that's also for the family members and for the band members. With that, Kurt Cobain is saying hello to them. Okay, that's for your better understanding. And if you watch closely this camera and the plants, you will realize that he can send specific wind waves. Okay, and if you get used to watch videos like that, after a while you will see that it is very specific communication depending on the video. And important to understand is that all the creators, when I start the communication with these creators, sometimes they have to optimize their tactic to use the wind. So they have to optimize their capability to use the wind specific. So sometimes it can be it can come to a situation where I have to optimize my communication with the other creature, or where I have to ask questions 2 times or 3 times. But I also do that for you, the people which are watching the video, so that you can ensure that you got the answers right, because it's also difficult for you, I'm sure, to watch out for natural environment reactions like wind instead of listening to a human. And Kurt Cobain is sending a lot of wind because he's agreeing to that. So he's also thinking that for humans it is much more difficult to watch out for the natural environment and to understand that communication at the same moment in time where you are also listening to me, Niall. Okay, so we be aware of that at that moment in time, and hopefully I do not speak too fast, but I will try to make the communication as transparent as possible for you. And as I said, if you watch out for the background and if you understood the principle, I repeat that Kurt Cobain can trigger the wind level, can canalize wind, and can raise the wind level to a higher wind level if you want to agree to stuff I speak out, or if I ask specific questions, if you want to say yes. If you, in a situation like that, if you would say no, he would transfer the information to me by thought so that I also can get that. I'm going to put on the microphone again, so it's possible that you have later two different kind of sounds, and the reason for that is that I had a storage problem with the cell phone. When I film, I have a storage card in there, and there's also the internal storage of the phones, but the internal storage is not very much. So little technical problems like that can happen when I film. Because I'm outside, as I said, I do camping, so I'm not in an office or in a film studio or something like that. I'm gonna upload everything from a tent, which is a little bit hardcore, extreme, natural. No, because it's plastic, but it's more difficult than compared to a situation where I would have a film studio or something like that. So to Kurt Cobain in general, let me ask the question first before you reply, and I'm gonna my question is the following. You already communicated to me when the cameras were switched off that the first two videos were not perfect because we had some communication problems, we had to optimize ourselves and so on and so on and so on. But in general, do you like to produce videos as a goes to give planet Earth informations and to send live signals to your family members, to the band members, to your friends and so on? Is that in general correct? He's transferring into my mind the information. Yes, that's correct. Okay, and he's gonna send some wind waves into the area over here. And you have to watch out very closely if you want to see that, but you can check that on the video. You can go back and check it, because the wind level was already quite high. And then you can see the specific wind waves. Right now he's sending even more. So you can see that the wind level is raised if you watch it on a huge screen and if you watch very, very carefully and if you check the details. So how much are the leaves shaking and how much the plants are pushed back from the wind waves he's sending. So to understand these videos, it's also important that the people which are watching them, if you are really interested in them, you have to watch them sometimes very carefully, and you have to be very focused on details to understand the video material as best as possible. So Kurt Cobain, do you want to say hello to your family members again, to the band members and to the fans all together? That's okay. Okay, if you want to, you can trigger the wind a little bit more. And maybe I'm gonna communicate with him now. I'm just gonna speak out what I'm sending him with my thoughts anyway. Maybe if we produce now a longer video or 2 or 3 30-minute videos, maybe it is also good in between to let the area become a little bit quiet as well, so that the people always see a good difference. But he did send wind waves, and that was for what I asked. So with that, he's sending a hello to the family members, to the friends and to the fans of the band Nirvana, so that you can check that, okay? And in the next video, because we don't want to produce the videos, we don't want to make them too long, and the reason for that is that I'm a little bit, I have these storage problems with my cell phones, though. That's the reason for it. So in the next video, he's gonna try to answer clearly with wind waves like he's doing that right now, to say yes, that we have that agreement, but he also gonna try in between to let the area become a little bit more quiet again, so to use less wind, and then for you, the people which are watching the video, it is easier to see. but please be aware of that. Sometimes me, Niall, I do speak very quick, and then of course Kurt Cobain is in the situation that he also wants to react transparent for you, the people which are watching the video, to the stuff I speak out. So if I speak too fast, it is nearly impossible for him to reduce the wind level so quickly and to raise it so quickly again and to reduce it again. So that's why if there's already a wind level, it is possible that he's triggering the wind to a higher wind level even in an existing wind level. And if you never have seen universal communication, where the natural environment, this biosymbiosis, was used from ghosts to communicate with living humans, please be aware of that. I'm living since a few years now in the situation that other creatures do communicate with that feature towards me, with me. And by the time you learn by yourself, also if you watch videos potentially, you can learn more and more to train your eyes to watch out regarding the details better. And you get a focus after a while if you watch out for the natural environment. Then things you haven't seen before become visible for you. And that's the same with the videos I do produce when ghosts do communicate. Maybe if you watch the video a couple of times and other videos, if you get used to the principle, if you don't have to think about the principle anymore because you have understood it, then it will be easier for you to outread the natural environment. Because in the end, for example, Kurt Cobain is using at the moment the natural environment. So to understand him best as possible, you have to learn to outread the reactions from the plants and all that, to outread the natural environment, to understand him as a creature. And by the way, I had input. So is it correct that Chester wants to produce also a video or want to be part of this video? And Chester was a band member of the band Linkin Park. So, and for the people, see, when I lifted up my hand, hopefully you could see that on that camera, he's sending wind waves. So that's Chester Bennington, I think the second name is. I already produced videos with Chester, so I'm gonna produce today a video with Kurt Cobain and Chester Bennington from the band Linkin Park. So Kurt Cobain is from the band Nirvana and Chester is from the band Linkin Park, so that you do understand that better. For me, it is possible because these creatures can reach me and they can be very, very fast. Okay? So for me, it is possible easily to communicate, for example, with 10 or 15 ghosts in a bin of 1 hour. But it is becoming very difficult to make everything transparent if I would communicate with too many creatures. And I think it would be also a little bit difficult for you, the people which are watching the video, to understand everything then. I'm going to repeat the identification process. Check that. Is it correct that was Chester who was triggering the last wind wave after Kurt Cobain? Is that correct, how I did ask? Like, is that correct that Kurt Cobain was the first one who did trigger the wind wave with others, and then Chester from the band Linkin Park? If that's correct, please canalize some more wind to this area so that the people can see that clearly and that they get a feedback. And now I give them a second to react, so a little moment to react, to transfer more wind into these plants. So they want to say it is correct. And now, then please trigger the wind in the area over here where I put my hand in, so that the people do see the leaves shaking a little bit more and that the plants do start to move again. And for the people, I'm going to describe again what I see. At the moment it is quiet, but I can feel that more wind is in the area again. So, was it correct? Kurt Cobain did trigger the wind in the first part of the video, and now I'm communicating with Chester from the band Linkin Park. If you can agree to that, then please canalize some more wind to the plants. And please be fast so that the people can see that clearly and that they can understand that clearly. Okay, we're gonna repeat that. Chester, that's you, right? If that's you, then trigger the wind a lot, please, so that the people can see that clearly. And if you can agree that before you are communicated with Kurt Cobain. So if both is correct, then please shake the plants a little bit around. And then I'm gonna explain to the people what did happen. So I'm gonna watch out for the plant now very closely, because we had a little communication problem, which can happen, as I said, when I'm communicating with different creatures at the same moment in time. So now with Kurt Cobain and Chester, then it can lead to misunderstandings. So Chester is canalizing the wind, and he's pushing now wind into this area because he wants to agree to the fact, first of all, that Kurt Cobain, the creator, was canalizing the wind before him, and second, that he, Chester Bennington from the band Linkin Park, is canalizing the wind. So I've explained that well, and now he's sending a wind wave to agree to that as well. Okay, so you can see it can be very specific, but it's also important, and we're not going to hide that. It's like if you talk to other humans, there can be misunderstandings. And of course, if you talk to different, for example, the situation a moment ago was that Kurt and Chester, they did not know who should now answer, because I asked the question in the wrong way, and then we cleared the problem, and then you could see the reaction from Chester. So we have a few identification processes now done in this video, and in between I always have to check with who I am communicating, because now we have Chester here, Kurt Cobain, and other creators which also have lived as humans before, and which were also musicians and others in the area over here. So we have a few invisible guests here at the Rhine at this moment in time. By the way, it's the weekend of the Summer Jam, which is a huge festival in Cologne. And on my Facebook timeline, I'm publishing some stuff regarding the Summer Jam Festival. And there's a lot of wind for the musicians which are acts on the Summer Jam Festival, and for the people which are chilling there and which are enjoying a good party in the summer. So the Summer Jam Festival is a huge festival here in the Rhine area, happening every year. Normally, because of Corona, there was a little break, but I'm sure that people even enjoy it more now where they can be out again. So let me take a few puffs and let me drink the beer a little bit, because I'm also in the situation that I want to relax a little bit, and it is sometimes a little bit difficult, a little bit hard to make all that transpiration, all that communication transparent to you. By the way, the sun is not going down, but we have huge clouds in the sky at the moment, so hopefully it will not rain. But if it would start to rain, I would have to stop the filming, because I'm filming with cell phone cameras and they're not water resistant. That's for your better understanding. And it is possible that the light will be gone in a few minutes. So the video then gonna be a little bit darker, but I don't think it's gonna be a huge problem. Chester, one question. Have you checked the Summer Jam Festival? So you as a ghost, have you been there? This year? He's saying yes, because you have heard that I was speaking about it yesterday. He's saying yes to that. That's why he's pushing now the plants a bit, and that's why he's pushing a lot of wind into this area. So yesterday I was communicating with Kurt Cobain and others, and I was speaking about the Summer Jam Festival, and I was doing some stuff on my Facebook timeline, which hopefully makes also some musicians a little bit happy. So to the musicians which acts on the Summer Jam Festival, you are not alone. Maybe Chester, for example, is there as a guest, and maybe another way he could use to be on the festival as a musician. You have heard that, but I don't know what he have done. He communicated to me by thoughts that he have been there as a guest. That was correct, right? Yeah. Okay. He's saying yes, so he's pushing the wind into this area, and he's pushing the plants a little bit up back there where I pointed my hand at, okay? So that you have it specific. He's doing that now to say yes, that you can see it clearly, because there was a little bit wind before. So the Summer Jam Festival had a guest who entered there for free. One of the luxury points goes to have, because they don't have to pay any entry if they just fly there. If they use human bodies to enjoy the human perspective of a festival, so to hear sound with the human body, to smell what you can smell on a festival with the human body, and to taste beer, then of course both scenarios can be there. The one is that they pay entry as a guest in a human body. The other scenario is that they fly to the festival and connect to a human body of a man or a woman which already paid the entry. But in general, ghosts do not pay entry. That's good, right? Do you enjoy? Oh, I received a thought. You just did answer you could do that before without paying entry to go to concerts, right? If that's correct, trigger the win for that. I'll make it clear. Make it clear. People watch out for that, for the plants. Hopefully it's getting filmed well. So Chester is saying yes, but he's very quiet. So he's using now a lot of wind. And the reason for that is not everybody can go to concerts without paying entry. But of course, he have been a VIP, how that's called, during his lifetime as a musician, as a member of the band Linkin Park, and that's what he meant. So he did not have to pay entry very often during his lifetime when he visited concerts. So that's good for you and good for the other musicians and good for artists in general, I think. When I was young, I did organize with a company parties in Cologne, in clubs like Neuschwanstein and so on, and the Diamonds Club in Cologne. And so in the nightlife in Cologne, at least, I also had the opportunity to go partying and clubbing without paying entry. So that's okay with me. And hopefully a lot of people do come into the situation that they can visit concerts for free, even if musicians also have to live and want to make some money to do that, right? You agreeing to that? Yeah. Chester communicated to me by thought that mankind should find better opportunities to solve the problem that everybody needs to do some stuff, like needs to eat, want to go to vacation and stuff like that, instead of the money system. Is that what you wanted to communicate? And he's agreeing to that. That's why he's sending now the wind waves when I'm shaking with my hands. Okay, for your better understanding. So with that, Chester's communicating he don't think that capitalism is a good solution for mankind, and I think the same, because it do exclude a lot of people from the social life, from stuff like festivals and so on, right? So Chester, did you have been here at the Rhine for a while today, or? He communicated to me now by thoughts that he came in between, because sometimes if creators want to contact me, they put their name into my hat, so that I them have a thought with their name in it. And I had a couple of times today his name in my hat. Let me say it like that. So in my thoughts. So that's why I just did ask him that. So you came a couple of times today because you have heard that later I'm going to produce a video with Kurt Cobain. That's correct, is what he transferred to me by sending or by creating a thought in my human head. I'm going to warn you, the people which are watching the video, by the way, Not because of Chester, but because as a general information. First of all, a lot of videos I do upload are for people over 18. And the second thing is, if you start to reflect in your human body on a high level to find the input from other creatures, in general, that can be psychological, very hard, very harmful and painful. That's why I upload the videos only for people over 18. If the topic body sharing is part of the video, and that's why I sometimes place a warning there. So it's not against Chester or against Kurt Cobain or against one of them. It's just a general information that the picture of yourself as a human do collapse if you reflect inside your biological human body on a high level to learn to outread what others left there. Because often if they, for example, create thoughts, then the people think themselves that they would think like that. But without the input, they would maybe think something different and would feel maybe something different. So if you start to go deep into the topic body sharing, and if you start to get a better consciousness level regarding that topic, and if you start to reflect them inside yourself, that can be very hard and very, very painful as well. But as I said, it's not against Chester and nothing against Kurt Cobain. By the way, my Facebook account is Niall Power Sieger, Niall. Then power like the power, and Sieger is Sieger. And on that Facebook account you can see what I've done yesterday because of the Summer Jam Festival. Because sometimes I do present on my Facebook account a technique when I jump through music data, which means that I can catch by myself music data, but also it is possible that I get guided from third creatures when they influence my human body to jump through their music. And you see a lot of wind in the background because they agree to that. That is how these creatures can use music data to communicate with those living humans which have learned to do that, or which have the talent to do it, let me say it like that, because it's also a question of having that talent or being that talent. I'm sure not everybody will have the capability to do that, but it's also important to understand that ghosts and ancestors have many ways to reach living humans. It's just that a lot of humans on planet Earth have forgotten about the different methods they can use to communicate with living humans. And let me bring all that into one sentence. They can use everything and every part of the biological environment you do live in, including your human body, to reach you and to communicate with you. It's just a question of finding that information, seeing that information, receiving it, and identifying the communicator, if you want it like that. So the creature who's using the communication to reach out for living humans. Okay? So I'm gonna end this video now, and then I'm gonna keep going with a little break, and then I'm gonna produce another video with Chester and Kurt Cobain also. And I'm gonna do a little break because, as I said, it's sometimes a little bit hard to make everything transparent. It costs me a lot of energy. I have to be very focused. And also I want to produce short videos because the other stuff gonna be a problem for my cell phones, because I'm doing everything with the cell phones before I upload them. So I'm gonna put both camera views together. There you see both on your stream, and with this I'm capturing the sound, so that you get a good sound as well, and everything have to be done on the cell phone. So thank you very much for watching for this moment. I say peace, and I will let the cameras run for a moment. And the wind gonna be canalized from Chester, and with that he's saying see you later to the people which are watching the video, because it's just like as we would do a little break, right? And when I do the break, you don't have to mind too much about the natural environment regarding my communication with them. but it is possible that in between I'm going to communicate with them by thoughts and that they're going to react with wind waves. But because I'm not going to make that all transparent, because of that you will not be able to understand it, high likely. Okay, so I will not say I received that information and I did ask this and that. So give me a break, give me a moment. Thanks for watching. Your Niall. Peace. Oh, and by the way, when I smile in between or if I shake my head like this, do not forget I do communicate with others by thoughts, because that might look very, very stupid. And be aware of that. If you walk through the city where you live, it's potentially possible that you see people where you think, hey, they're crazy, they're talking to themselves. But it's potentially possible that these people have the capability and have the talent to communicate with their own ancestors or other ghosts. So do not judge them too quick, because one of them could be the angel to open you the door to communicate with your own ancestors potentially. Thanks.